For Comedy Hype News, I'm Tatiana LaJoy. Within the past few years, the emotional climate in the media has been at an all-time high. When a public figure does or says something offensive in front of or behind the scenes, they run the risk of being ostracized, boycotted, or losing their job and/or brand endorsements. The rise of cancel culture is responsible for ending the careers of many entertainers, such as Saturday Night Live cast member Shane Gillis, who lost his job in 2019 after racist and homophobic tweets came to resurface. Louis C.K. also lost his job after confessing to sexual misconduct in July 2020. Nick Cannon was fired from Viacom-CBS over anti-Semitic comments that were said in his YouTube series Cannon's Class. This controversy jeopardized Nick Cannon's position as a host for the show Wildin' Out, which surprised people since Nick created, produces, and hosts the show. It shined a light on the fact that there are politics in the entertainment industry that are beyond our understanding. What makes Wildin' Out so great is how it encourages its comedians to consistently deliver hilarious, raw, and unfiltered comedy. Cast members have come and gone over the years, and an all-star recurring cast has been carefully created by filtering out the comedians who lacked confidence with those who took risks. Karlous Miller joined Wildin' Out in season 5 after the show had a 6-year hiatus and quickly became a fan favorite and recurring castmate because of his quick wit and charm. It shocked many when he was let go after 7 successful seasons with no real explanation. But there's always a reason, right? Maybe if we break down some evidence we dug up, we can figure out why Karlous Miller was kicked off Wildin' Out. Karlous had his breakout role on MTV's Yo Mama and was one of the semi-finalists of Bill Bellamy, Who Got Jokes in the early 2000s. He worked with headlining comedians such as Cat Williams and Daniel Tosh and joined Wildin' Out in July 2013. Wildin' Out was built on having individual comedians who can stand on their own, and producers work hard to ensure castmates have good synergy. Karlous established himself as one of the OG comedians on Wildin' Out and naturally shined with Chico Bean and DC Young Fly, being most known for his sucker MC battles. Fans quickly noticed the chemistry between them, which led to the creation of the 85 South Show, which is pioneering a new style of comedy since stand-up is usually performed alone with pre-planned material. The 85 South Show started in 2015 when the comedians collaborated with Steve Harvey Studios to record an improv comedy podcast that showcased their freestyling and roasting abilities. What started as a podcast is now a traveling live comedy show that prides itself on being completely unscripted. In the competitive entertainment business, it's safe to assume that the 85 South Show was stiff competition for Wildin' Out when it came to innovative improv comedy. What started off as an innocent collaboration between Karlous, DC, and Chico is now a power throuple garnering over 1.8 million subscribers on YouTube, 400 million independent views, and over 100,000 tickets sold on their live show. There's a saying that goes, some people want you to do well, but not better than them. Although Wildin' Out is undoubtedly a successful show, could the producers of Wildin' Out feel threatened about the success of the 85 South Show? Or from another angle, it became obvious at a certain point that Karlous, Chico, and DC were forming an alliance during their acts. Could Karlous getting fired be an attempt to maintain the atmosphere of having individual comedians who stand on their own?
I hate to tell you, fool, your girl cheating on you with like 2 or 3 dudes. She hit my phone and said, Los, where you at? I should get a sheep gift wrap, me a kitty cat.
Cheating on me? Boy, that's the bandit. Your girl had sex 3 times with Nick Cannon.
In 2008, Karlous, DC, and Chico were guests on the morning radio show The Breakfast Club and spoke about why Karlous was fired from Wildin' Out. During the interview, Karlous expressed feeling utterly confused about what happened. Nobody really knows if the reason Karlous got kicked off was personal. They all agree that something happened, but they don't really know what it was. Nick then reposted the video with this caption: LOL, I honestly believe at 85 South Show could be bigger than Wildin' Out. These brothers are so talented and gifted, not to mention truthful, real, and authentic to who they are, which is rare in this business. They definitely need their own show. I want to see Kings win and all my soldiers shine. Nothing but love, admiration, and respect. Rumble young men rumble. At Karlous, at DC, at Chico Bean, at MTV Wildin' Out. Was this a little passive aggressive? This comment can support the theory that Nick thinks Karlous, DC, and Chico are better off on their own show rather than his, which led to them firing Karlous. Who's to say DC and Chico weren't next? Or maybe this supports the fact that Nick had nothing to do with Karlous being fired, and this was the doing of the executives that worked behind the scenes. They called Nick on the air, and this was his response.
There ain't nothing happened. That's my man for life. It's a bunch of people that ain't on the show no more. Y'all know how these white folks work. Karlous didn't get fired. Karlous elevated.
Pleasing the corporate higher-ups has been an unspoken understanding in the entertainment industry for decades. Many people are apprehensive to state their opinions out of fear that they will lose their job, and this situation could be a good example why. Wildin' Out was produced by Nick's production company, Incredible Entertainment. Even the theme music was created and produced by Nick, which was a change from the Fat Man Scoop theme song from the 4 prior seasons. It seems like Nick had a lot more creative control with the reboot of the show. How could he not have known or at least stopped him from firing Karlous? In the Breakfast Club interview, Nick alluded to some financial issues that they didn't discuss on the air. It was clear that there may have been some behind-the-scenes negotiations that led to the termination. But if it was for financial reasons, wouldn't that be something that Karlous would acknowledge as being a possible reason for getting fired? Previous cast member Spanky Hayes complained about the drastic drop in pay from $27,000 an episode when he first began to $1,000 an episode after the show left MTV and went to MTV2. Nick explained in an interview why they decided to switch from MTV to MTV2. We were allowed to push the envelope even more on MTV2. We could go more raw and say stuff without having to worry. In MTV, you kind of have to walk a little softly with their demographic. I'm excited to go raw and in your face. Nick Cannon. Although the production gained more creative control, they had to take a hit on the budget, and this could be the money issues that Nick was implying in the interview. Even Chico Bean, who joined the show at the same time as Karlous, admitted that the salary isn't really what makes entertainers stick around. It's not hard to imagine that Karlous shared his concerns about his salary to producers, given what Chico had to say about his personality. Here's the thing people don't understand about Karlous. Los is a very forward and, he speak his mind. And he don't mean no harm by what he say, but you don't know. And the thing about it is, you don't know how somebody takes the truth you tell when you tell it. Chico. Shortly after the interview, Karlous and Nick had a heart-to-heart that repaired their relationship, which resulted in Karlous getting hired back on the show for season 13. Nick and Karlous had a rap battle and roasted each other to break the ice. Now Karlous and Nick are on great terms. In a recent interview on The Breakfast Club, the 85 South Show co-hosts were asked about DC being groomed to host Wildin' Out to replace Nick Cannon. DC responded, "I want it the right way. I wanted it to be given to me from the OG. It's his shit. It's not corporate shit. Corporate didn't hire me. Nick hired me. So it'd be a backstab for me to go and be like, all right, corporate, what y'all want me to do? I know how the game get. Y'all don't fuck with me like that. You only fuck with what I can bring you. I want to be a part of a family, and Wildin' Out was family." Despite the controversy, everyone was able to put their issues to rest and continue to deliver great comedy on Wildin' Out. Now, these are our speculations. We reached out to Karlous's camp to comment on the topic, but no response. What do you guys think the real reason was that Karlous was fired from Wildin' Out? Do you think Nick had anything to do with it? Let us know in the comments below. Stay up to date with the latest news in comedy by subscribing here to our YouTube channel. Follow Comedy Hype across all social media and look out for original content on our new streaming service at comedyhype.com. For Comedy Hype News, I'm Tatiana LaJoy.